writing a letter to the Lifesaver Company. And we wanted to know what was going on. What were some of our conclusions? What did we find out? Mason, what did you find out when you stirred it really fast? Evaporates or dissolves. Okay, so if you, and are we stirring it in our mouth? No, so if you do what? If you stir it really fast, okay, so if you stir it.
What would you do if you did that in your mouth though? What is that called?
So you wouldn't stir it, you would use.
If you what?
You would use your
Yes,
tongue.
good job. If you moved it. If you moved it with your tongue.
All right, so if you move it with your tongue, or if you move it around your mouth, it will dissolve faster. Okay, now, who had the amount of water? If you have a lot of saliva in your mouth, who did that one? Who tested that one? So what did you guys find out about that? If you have,
They're pretty much less than long.
none of it dissolved?
No, pretty much none of them.
Well, how does the cups look in comparison to each other?
Okay, which cup looked the smallest to you? The tallest one? The smallest one. So are you saying, Mr. Matthew, are you okay? All right. So are you saying it was the 1/4 or the 1/2 a cup? The 1/4 a cup. So isn't that kind of funny that if you have a lot of saliva in your mouth, you would think it would dissolve faster? But your experiment, you had just a little bit of water and it didn't dissolve? No, it didn't dissolve. So what can we do with that one? What would you like to, how could you try that different? Because you were showing me like, wow, Mrs. Banks, it looks like it's kind of coming off in layers. What else could we try? It was starting to evaporate? Okay. All right. Let's see. We did movement and amount. What else for temperature? Raise your hand if you worked with temperature. Temperature. Max, what did you notice on your temperature?
That some of the oil in the lifesaver was floating.
Some of the oil in the Lifesaver was floating. Was that in the hot temperature, the cold temperature, or the room temperature one?
In almost all of them.
In almost all of them. Ooh, what do you think that white stuff was?
Wax?
Wax? You said maybe wax? Yeah? I don't understand what that white stuff was. That would be kind of an interesting experiment. What could you do with that white stuff to figure out?
No, but shoot.
Melina, what could you do to figure it out?
Because I had a candy before, it was like some kind of candy, I don't remember the name of it, but it had like white stuff around it, you just like eat it with it, around like a little bit of candy, and there was a wrap around it, you couldn't take it off, you just like eat it with it, and it melted it out.
And so you're saying the white stuff melts in your mouth?
It was actually clear, but you can see it, and it melted in my mouth.
And it melted in your, okay. When we were eating the Lifesavers, did anybody notice that white stuff on there?
Yeah.
I didn't notice it. Did anybody, did you guys notice that white stuff?
It like the heat is like, well,
Oh, okay, no, you're onto something.
when I ate the other candy that I had, it was melting, like it was warm.
Okay, so is your mouth, what temperature is your mouth?
My mouth was warm.
Warm. Okay, so if we put the Lifesavers in our mouth and it's warm, right? And then we put it in the water, Max, right? And did everybody notice white stuff floating in their, can you raise your hand? If you notice white stuff floating in your cups, raise your hand.